Now that the NHL Draft Lottery is complete, we know the rankings and who's going to be picking in the top 15 selections for the upcoming 2019 NHL Draft being held this summer in Vancouver. And today we're going to do our first installment of a mock draft here based on my thoughts and opinions on who I think these teams are going to select in the first round. And that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So today we're going to begin with our first mock draft here based on my opinion of my own rankings and who I think these teams are actually going to select in the first round. Leading up to today, we had done some simulations of a mock draft based on strictly player rankings, and of course we were playing with the NHL Draft Simulator to determine where a lot of these teams might be picking. That draft simulation was a lot of fun to play with. But now we can get into the real selections now that we know exactly the order for the first 15 picks on where these guys are going to be picking here. So of course, as always, as I go through these selections, certainly want to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comment section as well, and let me know who you would select with these selections as well. So as we know, the New Jersey Devils have the absolute honor of selecting #1 overall here again. This is the second time in 3 years they've held that selection, and they will definitely be drafting the #1 overall ranked prospect, Jack Hughes, from the United States National Team Development Program. Jack Hughes has absolutely dynamic acceleration, top end speed, and edge work are phenomenal. He's definitely by far the best skater in this draft. He's got soft and quick hands to handle the puck and makes really quick moves while skating at high speed. In that regard, he is similar to Connor McDavid, and the things that he can do at high speed are certainly very comparable. I'm not sure that he's going to be the generational type player that McDavid is, but as far as what he can do at that high end speed, it certainly is somewhat comparable. Hughes also has a very accurate shot and a very quick release as well, which oftentimes doesn't get discussed nearly enough when we're talking about this player. The skating is by far his biggest, strongest attribute, which sets him apart from everybody else in this draft. At #2 overall, the New York Rangers would gladly select Finnish-born prospect Kaapo Kakko. Now, Kaapo Kakko has the size, speed, and finishing ability, along with terrific vision. It's been Kakko's production as a teenager in Liga over in Finland that is reinforcing just how special of a talent he already is. He's been breaking records in that league for a player his age already this year. He's big and strong with exceptional vision and stick handling, and there's definitely a wide gap between Kakko and the next tier of prospects. We've been saying all along that Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko were kind of battling it out for #1 and #2. We really haven't seen a unified front of a lot of scouts and draft prospect ranking systems that have Kakko ahead. There is a few, for the most part though, it's Hughes and Kakko, but there is a unanimous agreement that Hughes and Kakko are certainly a major step above everybody else in this draft. The #3 overall selection belongs to the Chicago Blackhawks, and they would definitely select Russian winger Vasili Podkolzin. Podkolzin has high-end offensive awareness. He's got lightning quick hands. He's 6'1" and 190 pounds. His work ethic, aggression, and two-way play are all fantastic traits of his. Podkolzin was definitely the best player at the Hyman Hlinka tournament, as well as the World Junior A Challenge back in December as well, which has really been where he's gotten a lot of his attention from. He has played on many different teams this year, combination of club teams and international hockey. So sometimes his stats don't look as strong as what they are because he's bounced around so much. But when he's played on the big stage in international competition, Podkolzin was certainly, in my opinion at least, proven to be a top 3 selection. Next up, the #4 overall selection belongs to the Colorado Avalanche, and they would select center iceman from the WHL, Kirby Dach. Kirby Dach is a pass-first center who owns great awareness and puck skills. He has terrific hockey sense, which is one of his strongest attributes for sure. His skating ability is also really strong, and he has terrific size. He's really the whole package when you take a look at what he brings to the table here. He does lack some explosiveness, though, in his skating. That's certainly something that he's going to have to work on. He could also stand to play with a little bit more pace at times as well. It's also been something that a few hockey experts have critiqued at times. But he has a high-end vision of somebody like a Joe Thornton at the NHL level, has a terrific ability to find his teammates, and his passing skills are terrific. And his ability to maintain control of the puck in the tightest of spaces is certainly really strong as well. Next up at #5, we have the LA Kings, and they would select the top defenseman in the draft, Bowen Byram. Now, Bowen Byram's an explosive skater who can act as a one-man breakout. He blends his acceleration and north-south speed with lateral edge work. His puck skills are really standing out as well, while his enthusiasm for jumping into the rush makes him the type of player that opponents need to game plan for every night. He certainly is a difference maker for sure. He's playing for the Vancouver Giants in the WHL. He plays a strong two-way game and has a healthy amount of grit in his game as well, so he certainly does not shy away from the rough stuff, but his strength is by far his skating and passing the puck up the ice and leading the rush. Next up, the number 6 overall selection belongs to the Detroit Red Wings, and I have them selecting another top-end center from the WHL, Dylan Cozens. Now, Dylan Cozens has elite speed. He's a complete 200-foot player with skill to burn and a sizable frame. He does draw some comparisons to a guy like a Jonathan Toews, for example, where he's such a strong two-way player. He owns an accurate and heavy shot as well. In many ways, he's the opposite of a Kirby Dach in many respects. He's a shoot-first center with tremendous shot, and he's incredibly fast as well. So Dylan Cozens will certainly be a terrific fit on the Detroit Red Wings, providing that likely number 1 or number 2 center iceman who can play that strong 200-foot game, like I said, much like we've seen Jonathan Toews do for the Chicago Blackhawks here for the last number of years. The number 7 overall selection belongs to the Buffalo Sabres, and I have them selecting Alex Turcotte. Alex Turcotte is another player with great offensive instincts, has quick acceleration, and already probably the most complete two-way player in the draft class, even more so than Dylan Cozens. The University of Wisconsin committed player missed a bunch of games early on due to an injury, but since his return, Turcotte has been lighting it up. He's an excellent skater with NHL pedigree. His dad is former NHL player Alfie Turcotte, and Turcotte has a ton of skills and is definitely going to be a top 10 selection for sure. The number 8 overall selection belongs to the Edmonton Oilers, and I have them selecting forward Peyton KREBS. Peyton KREBS is a little smaller than many of his counterparts here in this draft class that we've been discussing here today. He's 5'11" and 180 pounds. He's an incredibly energetic playmaking center who has a high hockey IQ. He's a type of player that sees the play develop before those around him and uses that to exploit the opposition, and he also has terrific puck skills as well. Number 9 overall selection belongs to the Anaheim Ducks, and I have them taking another US-born player, TREVOR ZEGRAS. TREVOR ZEGRAS is a complete player as well. His skill is comparable to Jack Hughes, but his skating is not quite as dynamic and elite. ZEGRAS is a highly skilled pivot with tremendous puck skills and vision. He is committed to going to Boston University as well, so obviously he will play there for at least one season, maybe more, it's hard to say. ZEGRAS' superior playmaking skills and his terrific vision has also kept him at times playing on the top line, even when Jack Hughes was present. He oftentimes has played wing on Jack Hughes' line as well, so it goes to show how elite of a player he has the potential to be. It's also fair to say with ZEGRAS that his playmaking abilities as well as his ability to finish are pretty equal as well. The number 10 selection belongs to the Vancouver Canucks, and we have them selecting Swedish defenseman Victor Soderstrom. Now, Victor Soderstrom is a pretty solid puck-moving, fast-paced defenseman who loves to create some offense. He's a very composed and sturdy defender. He's not quite as dynamic as a guy like an Adam Boqvist or a Nils Lundqvist, who are both 2018 first-round selections, but he's also more well-rounded at this stage than they are as well. He is a pretty solid player at both ends of the ice and certainly fit well in the mold with Vancouver. They have a lot of terrific young forwards. They grabbed strong defenseman Quinn Hughes last year. They still have defenseman Ole Juolevi in their system as well. Add another guy like Soderstrom would really give them the potential to have an elite blue line here in a few years' time. Number 11 overall selection belongs to the Philadelphia Flyers, and I have them selecting one of the best pure goal scorers in this draft, Matthew Boldy. Now, Matthew Boldy is a definitely goal scorer first, but he has terrific vision that makes him a dual threat as well. His one-on-one skills are well above average thanks to his silky smooth hands. He's probably the second best pure goal scorer in this draft as well, but the guy knows how to put the puck in the net and certainly would be another great young forward to fit in with what's going on in Philadelphia. They have a pretty solid prospect base there, and they have a lot of guys going to be battling for spots, and he would just be one more tool to add to their already impressive list of prospects. 12 overall selection belongs to the Minnesota Wild, and I have them selecting forward Alex NEWHOOK. Now, Alex NEWHOOK is committed to going to Boston College, so he will be there for at least a short period of time. He's been leading the BCHL in scoring and can finish in a variety of fashions. He has incredible speed, he's got dangerous hands and terrific hockey sense, and he's equally deadly with his passing or his shooting. He's also a very strong 200-foot player as well. Number 13 overall selection belongs to the Florida Panthers, and I have them selecting defenseman Cam York from the United States National Team Development Program. Now, Cam York is your typical new age defenseman. He's a great skater who moves the puck quickly and efficiently. He's a native of Southern California and was once coached by Scott Niedermayer. So obviously we know how strong Niedermayer was, and if he picked up a lot of tips from him and is anything like that, obviously he will be a terrific player when he reaches the NHL. Cam York keeps himself very composed on the ice. He seems very unfazed by pressure. He's a terrific playmaker on a power play, and he's been constantly improving his game on the defensive side of it. And even though he's not an overly big guy, he does rarely get burned, even though he's often lacking up size and strength against many of his opponents. Number 14 overall selection belongs to the Arizona Coyotes, and they would select from the United States National Team Development Program, in my opinion, the top pure goal scorer in this draft, Cole Caulfield. We did a video not too long ago discussing how Caulfield and Jack Hughes have been setting records as well with the United States National Team Development Program this past year. He's absolutely the best pure goal scorer in this draft. Some draft ranking systems do have him ranked lower because of his size. He is quite a small player, but he certainly makes up for that with his ability to put the puck in the net. In my opinion, this guy is the best pure goal scorer in the draft and should be taken in the top 10 or top 15 for sure. But I do see many ranking services having him much lower. Thinking about the possibility of Caulfield playing with a guy like Clayton Keller with Arizona seems to be a terrific match. But I do think there's a possibility the Arizona Coyotes may not be able to grab him, as he may not be on the board when they pick at number 14. Now, the last pick in this draft is the number 15 overall selection, which belongs to the Montreal Canadiens, and I have them taking Canadian-born forward Ryan Suzuki. Ryan Suzuki thinks the game very well. He's a terrific skater as well, has a little bit more speed than his brother Nick, who's also in the Montreal Canadiens system after being acquired in a trade with the Vegas Golden Knights, which involved former Habs captain Max Pacioretty. He's got terrific vision. He sees the game very, very well. We would also like to see him now move his game more to the interior. Too much of his game is kept to the outside, so I like to see him get his nose a little dirtier and take things to the net more often. Would be great to see. However, Ryan Suzuki is a very creative and silky passer. He boasts a level of vision and soft touch that very few people possess in this draft class. Always impatient with the puck as well, and I think he'd be a terrific addition to the Montreal Canadiens along with his brother, who's also in the system. So that is the top 15 selections in our first mock draft of the year, now that we know the exact order of all the teams where they're going to be picking in the top 15. So as I mentioned earlier, certainly want to hear your thoughts, your opinions down below in the comment section. Let me know who you would select with these picks, and we can certainly continue the discussion in the comment section. If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. There will be plenty more coverage of all the 2019 draft eligible prospects. We will likely be doing additional mock drafts as well, as some of these ranking systems here might change a little bit before we get there in June. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up before you go as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. Thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you next time.